Gator, you passed something along pre-show. Last night the Red Wings played, and you asked the question to me, are you at all conflicted at how quickly things have gone from pushing for the playoffs to now you kind of have to root for losses and draft position in the lottery? My answer to you was no. When Yzerman sold emphatically at the deadline, I jumped on board the Connor Bedard long shot, the sweepstakes to land the number 1 pick in this draft. I was mad they beat the Penguins yesterday. I'm like, damn it, they put Nedeljkovic in and everything, and this team still rallied and won the game anyway. Their coach gets tossed, Perron scores a hat trick. But I had no trouble. There's no conflict for me. I want them to lose every game the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm in that mode too right now, and I thought it was going to be, and it has been difficult for me to make that transition, but once I make it, I've made it. There was still part of me that enjoyed watching them win last night. At the same time, I'm like, oh, that one hurt. It does hurt. Because it stands right now, the Red Wings have the 8th worst record in hockey, or I should say the 8th fewest points in hockey. And as we know, they've got a chance to get to that, to win the draft lottery. They do have a chance, but you want them to have a higher percentage chance. And at 8, it's not a great percentage. They have 73 points. Philadelphia is behind them. They've got 70 points. And behind that, Arizona 67, Montreal 66.
Then a big drop.
And then there's a huge drop-off. Can Montreal, Arizona, and Philadelphia win enough down the stretch?
2-3 wins.
Let's hope
3-4 wins.
3 or 4 wins, where the Red Wings maybe don't win again down the stretch, and the Red Wings can they find themselves with the 5th best position when it comes to percentage chance?
Probably unlikely, because these other teams are well aware of the odds, and this being one of the better drafts to have the number 1 or 2 or 3 pick.
And then they got ahead of them. There's Vancouver and St. Louis both have 1 more point than the Red Wings do. And
Vancouver's been winning, though.
And the Caps have 3 more points. So I'm sure those fan bases are thinking the same thing. It's not just Connor Bedard, of course, because he's the guy. He looks like he's
the
can't
best
miss
since McDavid.
Sure. But Fantilli from Michigan is awfully good. I think he ended up with, right now he's got like 28 goals on the season. He's been fantastic for them. He's a little abrasive as a player. He looks like kind of like a Tyler Bertuzzi that scores a lot more, and is much more offensively motivated. There's a couple other players in this draft that are supposed to be highly thought of. If the Red Wings can get in the top 3, that'd be huge for this franchise. I dared to dream the other day. I was thinking about this. Dare to dream where the Red Wings and the Pistons win the draft lottery. Dare to dream. In a year where people say Wembanyama's the best since LeBron James, or that Bedard is the best since Connor McDavid. And if our Detroit teams were to land both of those players, are you kidding me?
If there's a team that deserves it.
And the Tigers win and they draft a pitcher.
Yay, woo.
Just to piss you off.
I did want to get back to the Tigers at 1. If there's a team that deserves to win the lottery, it's the Red Wings.
It's the Red Wings, without a doubt.
Wings. When they were the worst team in the sport, they didn't get a lick of luck.
They were the worst by over 20 points.
I know. And now they've made honest, earnest efforts to win. And I would prefer they make the playoffs. But once that gets ripped out from under you, you got to take the car flags down for at least another year.
Right.
I feel like such an idiot. But I want the team to be successful. But to me, it gets to a point where once you're mathematically out, all you can then do is look to the future. This team could use some lottery luck. They could do themselves a favor and pick up a couple percentage points if they can lose a couple more hockey games. So like last night, they get off to a 3-0 lead against the Penguins. I'm like, these jerks.
How does this happen?
Come on. And then they blow the 3-0 lead.
It's
I'm
their
like,
job, yeah.
Let's go. Only to then rally
get the
and
lead,
and then win
then
the
to
game.
lose the lead, it gets tie again, and then they score the 2 goals late in the game. And it's interesting because you brought up Nedeljkovic, the goaltender, last night, and he's hardly played this year because they had Husso and Nedeljkovic just sent him down to Grand Rapids or whatever and didn't have a great year down there, but it was okay. Nedeljkovic, a couple of years ago, was thought of as the future for this team. So it's not like he's a bad goaltender. Goaltenders they're a funny bunch of people, right? Funny group of athletes here. You don't really know what you have with a goaltender. Guys that look phenomenal at 21 look awful at 23.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
guys that look awful at 25 look great at year 30. You just don't know.
Well, I mean, there's a school of thought that unless you have Vasilevsky, you're better off just like finding some 28-year-old Finnish goalie who gets hot at the right time.
Right. Just take a chance. And, the Red Wings still have Sebastian Costa, who they drafted in the first round a couple of years ago, and who looked like he was just having a horrible time playing this year until the last 10 games. He's been out of his mind playing for, is it Erie or Toledo? Walleye, is that it? Where he's playing great. I mean, great hockey lately, and gives you hope that, okay, maybe he's not a dog. Maybe this is somebody who's bounced back and could be somebody in the future. But, yeah, last night's game was tough because it puts you in that tough position where you don't want to root against them because they are your team, and yet it's the right thing for this team not to win. And every day it seems like there's another player who may be done for the end of the season, the rest of the season. Zadina could be done for the rest of the season. Husso, done for the season. These are guys that are players on a regular basis that are out again, and they keep bringing up guys. Hey, here's another player you haven't heard of in a while, and here's your Zarnak and Luff and guys like that.
I think this is very critical that we say this. The idea of tanking isn't that your coach tells your players score in your own net, give up goals, stop playing hard. The tanking operates at a level higher, where you just tie the arm behind your back. A guy who's got a nagging injury, you just say, you know what, don't come
You're
back.
out.
Sorry, hey, we're not taking any chances.
Yeah.
Let's get a little more youth in the lineup. Let the guys make mistakes out there in a real game, and if we lose, it's kind of the intention.
Right, but in the meantime, these guys are going to be playing their asses off because they want to show up.
This is their livelihood. They have pride, and they get paid based on performance.
Yeah, and they come back last night, and they score the goals late, and Perron with a hat trick, the natural hat trick. It was great to see. It was fun to see, and at the same time, you're going, damn it.